Most people believe money problems are income problems, but in reality, they are psychology problems. Two people can earn the same amount, live in the same city, and have completely different financial outcomes, not because one is smarter, but because one thinks differently about money. Money is emotional before it is logical, and until you understand the psychology behind it, no strategy will ever fully work. The first lesson is that money amplifies who you already are. If you are disciplined, money makes you more disciplined. If you are impulsive, money makes you more reckless. People think more money will fix their habits, but money doesn't fix behavior, it exposes it. That's why sudden wealth often leads to sudden destruction. Lesson 2 is that your money story controls your decisions. Every person carries a story about money formed by childhood, family, and environment. If you grew up hearing money is evil or rich people are greedy, you will subconsciously push money away even when opportunities appear. Until you rewrite your internal narrative, you will keep self-sabotaging without realizing it. The third lesson is that fear is more powerful than logic. People don't avoid investing because the math is bad. They avoid it because loss feels twice as painful as gain feels good. This is why people stay stuck in safe but limiting choices. Fear disguises itself as responsibility, but often it's just unexamined emotion controlling your future. Lesson 4 is that spending is emotional regulation. Many purchases are not about need, they're about mood. People spend to feel important, calm, successful, or distracted. Without awareness, money becomes a coping mechanism. When emotions drive spending, no budget will ever be enough. Lesson 5 is that rich-looking behavior is usually poor thinking behavior. Flashy spending often comes from insecurity, not abundance. True financial confidence is quiet. People with control don't need to prove it. They optimize for freedom, not attention. Lesson 6 is that time feels unlimited until money makes it visible. When you're broke, time feels cheap. When your income grows, you realize every hour has value. This shift changes how you tolerate distractions, people, and low-return activities. Protecting time becomes protecting wealth. Lesson 7 is that loss avoidance keeps people poor longer than lack of opportunity. People hold on to bad investments, bad jobs, and bad habits because letting go feels like admitting failure, but psychologically, sunk cost thinking traps people in worse outcomes. Growth requires the ability to release what no longer serves you. Lesson 8 is that money prefers clarity, not chaos. Avoiding bank statements, budgets, or numbers doesn't reduce stress, it multiplies it. The brain fears uncertainty more than bad news. Facing numbers gives control, even when the numbers aren't ideal. Lesson 9 is that comparison is a financial toxin. Comparing lifestyles, incomes, or timelines creates pressure that leads to irrational decisions. Social comparison pushes people to spend, rush, or take risks that don't match their reality. Your financial plan should be personal, not performative. Lesson 10 is that confidence grows after action, not before. People wait to feel ready before investing, starting a business, or negotiating, but psychologically, confidence is a result of experience. Small, controlled actions build evidence, and evidence builds belief. Lesson 11 is that money is about options, not objects. The real value of money is not what it buys, but what it allows you to choose. The ability to walk away, wait, or say no is the highest form of wealth. People who understand this stop chasing things and start building flexibility. The 12th and final lesson is that financial peace comes from alignment, not excess. There is no universal number that guarantees happiness. Peace comes when your spending, values, and goals match. When money supports your life instead of controlling it, stress decreases even if income stays the same. Understanding money psychology doesn't require becoming obsessed with money. It requires becoming honest with yourself. Once you see how beliefs, emotions, and identity shape financial outcomes, money stops feeling mysterious and starts feeling manageable. You don't need perfection, you need awareness. And awareness, applied consistently, can change everything. Once you understand the basics of money psychology, a second layer begins to appear, and this layer is more uncomfortable because it forces you to confront not systems or circumstances, but yourself. The 13th lesson is that your identity is often the ceiling on your income. People unconsciously protect the version of themselves they are familiar with, even if that version struggles. When earning more money conflicts with how you see yourself, you will find ways to sabotage progress to stay emotionally safe. This is why some people lose momentum right after success. Lesson 14 is that stress feels productive, but it's often avoidance. Many people stay busy with small tasks because deep financial decisions require confronting fear, responsibility, and uncertainty. Being busy creates the illusion of control, while clarity requires stillness and honesty. Lesson 15 is that money decisions are rarely about money alone. They are about power, control, approval, and self-worth. People overspend to feel respected, undercharge to feel liked, and avoid investing to avoid feeling foolish. Until these emotional drivers are acknowledged, patterns repeat. Lesson 16 is that financial habits are social, not individual. Your spending, saving, and risk tolerance are heavily influenced by the people around you. Even disciplined individuals struggle in environments that normalize poor money behavior. This is why changing your financial future often requires changing your environment or limiting exposure to certain influences. Lesson 17 is that uncertainty triggers the brain's survival mode. In uncertain financial situations, the brain prioritizes short-term relief over long-term gain. This is why people cash out investments early, avoid starting new ventures, or cling to familiar income sources even when better options exist. Learning to pause instead of panic is a critical psychological skill. Lesson 18 is that discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation is emotional and temporary. Discipline is structural and reliable. People who design systems that make good financial behavior automatic outperform those who rely on willpower. Lesson 19 is that financial growth requires tolerance for temporary imbalance. During growth phases, life often feels unstable. Income fluctuates, routines break, and certainty disappears. Many people quit at this stage, mistaking discomfort for danger. But psychologically, growth almost always feels worse before it feels better. Lesson 20 is that money reveals your relationship with control. Some people micromanage every dollar because control feels safe, while others avoid tracking money because control feels threatening. Both extremes limit growth. Healthy money psychology balances awareness with flexibility. Lesson 21 is that regret is a more powerful teacher than success. People learn more from missed opportunities than from wins, but only if they reflect instead of repress. Avoiding regret traps people in denial. Processing it builds wisdom. Lesson 22 is that money flows toward clarity and confidence. People who can clearly articulate their value, boundaries, and goals attract better opportunities. Unclear thinking creates scattered outcomes. Clarity simplifies decisions and reduces emotional noise. Lesson 23 is that financial independence changes your tolerance for nonsense. As dependence decreases, patience for toxic environments, unfair deals, and low-value commitments disappears. This shift can feel isolating, but is a sign of psychological growth. Lesson 24 is that there is no finish line, only alignment. Chasing a final number creates constant dissatisfaction. Money psychology matures when the goal shifts from accumulation to alignment, using money as a tool to support health, purpose, and freedom. When this happens, money stops being a source of anxiety and becomes a neutral resource. The deeper truth about money psychology is that it's not about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming aware. The more conscious your financial decisions become, the less power fear, ego, and comparison have over you. And when money stops controlling your emotions, it finally starts serving your life.